years to watch someone on TV that was telling my story, and it finally happened.
I cried my way through your show today. My heart is just breaking for all 200 of these men. Bravo to all of them.
The response was astounding. It was one of the most talked about topics on Twitter. And from our message boards to our phone lines, we were flooded with raw emotion.
I'm so angry after watching the show that we as society have failed all those little boys.
Those people there are heroic. I don't know how people can do that to a kid, but we have to protect kids at any cost.
I sat and I watched that show 6 times. Thank you so much.
I've suffered for 38 years with this terrible secret, and it has left a deep hole in my soul. And I'm so grateful for helping me bust down the walls of denial and secrecy.
I hope that these men realize that they have helped thousands of men and young boys by showing their courage today and speaking out.
When abuse destroys the man, it destroys everything in their lives, including their relationships. Sexual abuse, I know this for sure, plants the seeds of inferiority and worthlessness. And then that inferiority and worthlessness shapes the way you start to think about yourself and the way you act and act out. And that's why we're here today, to release some of that. As the men were telling their stories, some of their wives, their girlfriends, and their partners and mothers were listening backstage, many hearing these painful details for the first time. And now they're all joining us in studio to tell us what that was like. But first, here's more of what some of the men had to say about how being molested as boys has affected their relationships.
My wife and I haven't been intimate in years. I built this wall in front of me, and I hide behind my wall. It affected my relationships with women, being promiscuous, and not really knowing that I had value. I have not been able to give my heart freely because it's incredibly difficult to trust anyone who has something of mine so fragile.
I don't think I've ever experienced true intimacy all the way around, all the way through. I know how to have sex with my girlfriend. I know that there's intimate moments when we just hug, but they're fleeting moments.
The way you act. Dr. Howard Fracken is here, and he's a psychologist who's devoted his career to helping men who are survivors of sexual abuse. Can you comment on this? Stand up, Dr. Fracken.
This place, and you know, I've been protecting that little guy for a long time, you know, and he's been it just means a lot to me to finally be here and see all these men and what they're going through and what their story and how powerful it is and what we can say and what we can do today and with the show and what it's going to prove, what it's going to save the world. So we'll be right back.
The little boys. I mean, as I looked at the pictures of that all of you are holding right now, I think that is who you really are. That is who you really are. And so now, as an adult, you have to have the compassion for that little boy to be able to protect that little boy that still lives inside you. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. And it's very, very important to give that little boy a voice. He wants to heal. He wants to come out. He wants to say his truth. And we need to create and give him permission and give us permission as adults to hear that truth.
To say that truth. We'll be right back.
Sit down with Brian Neal about his deepest secret, being molested as a child by his own father. Find out how he's working to create a better life for himself.
That's John.
The reason why we